I don't think that anybody here ever looks in the mirror and says to themselves, gee, I think I have too much experience. I think we all look in the mirror from time to time and say, I wish I knew then what I know now. This leadership is about winning an election in 2 years, not 6. And I believe that experience will allow that. And I invite you to look at my record on the private level for the last 30 years, representing many people in the Miramichi, a lot of people in this room. And the fight that I've had against corporate interest for the taxi drivers, the waitresses, and the people that work in the woods. My public record. We've taken a deficit of $47 million and turned it into a surplus of $4 million in one fiscal year. I had the pleasure of working with your MLAs here, including Bill Fraser, to protect your hospital services. And in the time that we had here, with the biggest recession in 75 years, there were no layoffs at that hospital. The government would not allow it. Your MLA would not allow that. One thing that remained to be done, of course, was to ensure that the road was built from the bypass to the hospital, just simply a safety. You should have that built. That'll save lives. I also believe, finally, though, that we need to look after ourselves because there is no benevolent federal government. Mr. Harper says to tighten our belts. We must tighten our belts while the rest of the country enjoys the largesse and the generational tools to succeed. Why not us? Why have we been overlooked? The time has come to do things differently. Le temps est maintenant à changer les affaires, à changer l'approche. So I ask for your support for this leadership. And I want to also say on behalf of the Kellys, myself, the Barrys, and my late father, God bless the Miramichi. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for being here tonight. You've been a very good audience. I want to tell you though, mine is a campaign with no glitter and with no glamour. And I suppose if I had a face that looked a little like Jesus or like Nelson Mandela, and I certainly don't have one that looks like him, I'd have badges for all of you also. But I just take a little bit of a different approach. And I told you I was a farmer. I'm a farmer by trade, and I just want to relate a little experience this summer. I was working on a piece of machinery. Actually, it was the mixer that we used to make our feed with. And I actually took a pretty bad spill in there. And my son told me later he could tell from the sounds that were coming inside the mixer that it hurt. And so when I finally climbed out, when I was finished doing what I was doing, I seen the bottom part of my pants was not the same color as the top part of my pants. So I hauled up my leg and he said, you're going to need stitches for that. And I said, oh, geez, I don't know. And I walked to the house and I looked across the road and I said, there's about 6,000 bales of hay there waiting, ready, it's cut, it's ready to be taken in, and I'm going to have to go for stitches. I went in and I showed it to my wife and I said, if I don't get this stitched, am I going to die? And she said, no, you'll just have a good scar. So I can tell you that today, I have a good scar, and at the end of that day, we had about 7,500 bales of hay in the barn. That's just the way that's my style, it's the way I do, it's the way I farm, and it's the way that I want to do politics. Thank you.
In 2006, I ran against the Premier at the time, Mr. Bernard Lord. I ran in the riding of Moncton East, and I got 41%. I was 24 at the time, I was the president of the university there, and I was a law student, a young entrepreneur. And I ran for one reason and one reason only. It's the same reason that I got involved in student politics as a child. It was the same reason why I stayed involved in politics while I was a corporate commercial lawyer over the last 5 years. And it's the same reason why I'm running for the leadership of our great party, because I believe politics is the best vehicle for change. It is the best vehicle to make a difference. And after I ran against Mr. Lord and saw people like Kay Rafferty, who's here today, who is literally the grandmother, the godmother of Moncton politics, I saw them put dozens and dozens of hours every single week just because they wanted the chance to make a difference. I chose the Liberal Party of New Brunswick. My parents were not political. My father worked at grocery stores his whole life. My mother worked at fast food restaurants. I chose the Liberal Party because it's a party that shares my values. We want to see the economy grow, but we want to make sure that we protect the young, the poor, the vulnerable, those whose lives, fundamental rights and opportunities are the most affected by government and its policies. I believe in the party, and more importantly, I believe in New Brunswickers. And that's why I want us to focus on creating conditions for New Brunswickers to create success. That's why I want us to invest in education and training by investing in ourselves. And that is why I believe that we can change our political culture. We can make it more transparent, more inclusive, more civil, less about nepotism and patronage, and more about doing what's right for all New Brunswickers. I am convinced we can do it, and if somebody tells you that we can't, remember Margaret Mead's quote, "Never doubt that a small group of committed, thoughtful citizens can change the world. Indeed, it's the only thing that ever has." Merci beaucoup.